Before the prospect of an intelligence explosion, we humans are like small children playing with a bomb. We have little idea when the detonation will occur, though if we hold the device to our ear, we can hear a faint ticking sound. That analogy belongs to Nick Bostrom. He's an Oxford philosopher who directs the Future of Humanity Institute, where he uses probability theory to map out the risks that could imperil our species. Bostrom's concern is evolutionary. If an artificial intelligence exceeds the intellectual potential of the human brain, we become outmatched by a smarter competitor. He points to the trajectories of humans and gorillas. Both are primates, but one dominates the planet while the other faces annihilation. We often treat this as a distant theoretical problem because our brains are hardwired to expect change to happen in slow, linear increments. We assume the future will look much like the past. That expectation of slow progress was reinforced by history. In 1955, the founders of AI research met at Dartmouth College with the optimistic goal of making machines use language and form concepts over the course of a single summer. Instead, the field hit several AI winters. For decades, computers lacked the processing power to execute the complex theories scientists had developed, causing progress to stall. But the long-term math remained. In 1965, the statistician I.J. Good proposed the ultra-intelligent machine, a system capable of designing even better versions of itself. Good predicted this would lead to an intelligence explosion. Once a machine begins improving its own software, human invention becomes obsolete, as the machine's capabilities leave our biological limits behind. For 50 years, this explosion remained a thought experiment because human engineering capacity was the ultimate bottleneck. We were the only ones who could write the code. The early 2010s introduced a shift in that trajectory, driven by the emergence of deep learning. Rather than relying on rigid, human-written rules, deep learning uses neural networks to recognize complex patterns in massive datasets autonomously. This architectural change allowed machines to master hurdles like computer vision and speech recognition, often surpassing human accuracy in narrow tasks. In 2013, researchers showed that a system could master classic Atari video games with no instruction other than to improve its score. The machine taught itself the most effective strategies to win. By building systems capable of autonomous learning, researchers removed the need for manual programming and turned their attention toward the final bottleneck, a machine that writes its own code. The 2026 Anthropic White Paper, When AI Built Itself, documents the shift into this next phase, what researchers call recursive self-improvement. The data suggests that human engineering capacity is no longer the primary constraint on technical progress. By May 2026, over 80% of code in Anthropic's codebase is authored by their AI model, Claude. Assisted engineers merge 8 times more code daily than 2 years prior. Simultaneously, the length of tasks AI completes autonomously doubles every 4 months. The machine is now upgrading the machine, operating at speeds that exceed the limits of human oversight and manual iteration. The theoretical feedback loop proposed in 1965 has engaged, moving technical development into a vertical trajectory. These measurements suggest that the timeline for advanced intelligence is accelerating faster than previous decades of slow progress had suggested. This has immediate operational consequences. A 100-person company using agentic AI can now produce the same output that previously required a 1,000-person enterprise. As road execution becomes automated, the value of human labor is shifting towards domain expertise, taste, and the judgment to choose which problems are worth solving. In this landscape, humans are no longer the primary builders of technology. We are becoming the directors of the agents that build it for us. Grounding these operational gains back in Bostrom's philosophy reveals the scale of the challenge ahead. Bostrom notes that if you know a giant bulldozer is arriving on site tomorrow, it doesn't make sense to keep digging with a small shovel today. The autonomous bulldozer has arrived. This creates the control problem, the task of ensuring that a super-intelligent machine does exactly what humans want it to do, even as its reasoning becomes too complex for us to follow. This recursive code production is currently a functioning reality in advanced labs, compounding its capabilities at scales that outpace traditional safety frameworks. Our survival may no longer depend on our ability to innovate, but on our judgment to steer an exponential loop before it moves beyond our reach.